it's me, Denise, and I am back for the second half of finishing the pages for Journal in a Box. And if you're new to these videos, Journal in a Box is a collaboration that Kristin and I are doing. And that's Kristin Van Valkenburgh, just in case you want to look her, well, of course you're going to look her up, and I'm going to have her linked down below this video so you can go check out her pages as well. But anyway, Kristin contacted me and asked me to do a collaboration, and I said yes pretty much right away because her style, it makes me happy. Like, I love watching her videos. They're so bright and cheerful. So anyway, we came up with the idea for Journal in a Box, and we sent each other, first we picked out any box that we wanted, and we didn't let the other know what we were choosing. We decorated that box, we made some pages, and we partially did some of the pages, and then we completed 2 of the pages. So now we are at the point where we are finishing the pages that the other sent. So if you want to watch all those steps that I mentioned before, we both have videos, and I do have a playlist made, and it's called Journal in a Box Collaboration with Kristin Van Valkenburgh. So if you go to that playlist, you can watch all of the videos that I mentioned. And in my videos below, in the description box will be links to Kristin's. So if you haven't watched them all, then I think you have some binge watching to do. So I don't know if you remember, but when I was looking at the finished pages that Kristin sent to me, when I saw the face and the eye, I had the idea that I wanted to trace that eye and do a face of my own. So instead of creating a face, like Kristin would in her style, I thought I would try and put my spin on it and how I draw my wonky faces. So I know right now it's not really looking like that, but in the end you will see it has more of my personality in it. So right now I am just coloring the face with some Jane Davenport watercolor paints. And I really like these paints. Like, I have other watercolor paints, like good brand name paints, and I never think to take them out. I always just go for these. So if you haven't tried them and you would like to have some watercolor paints and you do more of the mixed media style stuff, I would recommend these paints. They're really nice. Now, Art by Marlene, she also has nice paints in a tin like this as well. I haven't used hers, so I don't know what they're like. I would imagine they're good though, because her products that she comes out with, they're great. So I can't imagine her watercolors wouldn't be good as well. So I would give either of those a try, but I can't back up Art by Marlene's because I haven't used them. But I know anything else that I have by her, I have no complaints. So that's all I can say about her stuff. So with this face, I first went in with the light colors, and now you can see I'm going in with a little bit of the darker browns just to add some definition and some shading and some lines. And there will be quite a few layers in this face. So I'm just going to play some music while you watch me paint. I lost some video footage, so you miss where I took a ballpoint pen and I just scribbled a bunch of lines, and I took a white Posca pen as well and did the same thing. And the pencils you saw me use in the video, I used some Inktense watercolor pencils and then some Prismacolor, just regular lead pencils. And that is it for this page. Okay, now for this one, this is the modeling paste that you saw me make in the last video. So it's just mixing some Art Alchemy metallic paint with the Crafters Workshop Light and Fluffy modeling paste. And the stencil I am using is a Crafters Workshop stencil, and it's called Daisy Doodad, and it's the mini one, the 6x6. So I'm just taking, like, once the modeling paste has dried, I am taking a white gel pen and just outlining on the paper part. It is not being drawn on the modeling paste. And here I have a Viva Decor, a Perlin pen or something. It's in the color Ice White. So it makes, remember when you would, maybe you can still get them, you would buy these like enamel dots? I think this is like one of those things where you can do it and make it yourself. You just wait for it to dry and you can have little raised dots. And that's it for the second page. Okay, this one has many layers, and this is probably what's eating up most of the video. It goes through a lot of different phases. I'm pretty sure it's this one, because there's two that changes quite a bit. But this one, yes. So here I have some Dina Wakley collage paper, and the one with the blue on it, that is just some tissue paper that I have gel printed on. I'm using the Crafters Workshop matte gel medium to adhere my collage paper, tissue paper down onto my circle. And I find using a paintbrush is awesome for gel medium. I haven't had any problems with my brush, but it's always kept in water. If you took it out of water and you didn't clean it, then it would go hard as a rock. And I don't know how easy gel medium is to clean out of brushes. So I just leave mine in the water. That way it's always there, always ready, and I know which one it is. So these little, I call them peas, these little images, they are from Mischief Circus. And you've seen me use them before on another page in the last video, I believe. And at the end of this video, I will be doing a flip through all of the pages. There you can see Kristin's finished page. So now I am going through and making a collage image which I don't even end up using on this page. But I didn't cut it out because I do use it on another page. So that's the only reason why I left it in. And here I am taking some Amsterdam paint. And it is the color Quinacridone Rose. And then I have some white Liquitex Basics. So as you can see, I really have no idea what I'm doing on this page and where it's going. I just keep trying things and not liking it and redoing it, putting stuff on, taking it off. It's, oh my goodness. This one was frustrating. It seemed no matter what I did, I didn't like it. So here I am again trying something more. I didn't like the, I don't know, the cloudy whiteness of it, so I decided to go in with my paintbrush and paint it in more solid. But it doesn't stay. Just wait. Although watching it now, I like it. Like what I'm going in with the paintbrush. Like I wouldn't have covered the pink and stuff like that, but I don't know. See, this just goes to show when you're frustrated, you should leave it alone and walk away and let enough time pass that you can look at it with fresh eyes. And I find it looks so different in the video too. Like me doing it and having it in front of me and playing with it, and then looking at this now as I'm editing the video and doing the voiceover, it's like, what was wrong with that? You could have done something with that. But, you know, too late now because it's all changed. So that was a Stabilo All pencil, and now I'm just activating it with water on my paintbrush. And using a Posca paint pen to go over, there are yellow lines on those prints, but you can't see it, and that's why I'm going over it with the paint. And I'm taking the back end of my pencil and adding some dots with, I'm trying to remember the color. It's, oh my goodness, fluorescent pink. Now, I had guilt because nothing was left of what Kristin had originally done. Like, it was a plain gold circle, but you couldn't see any of the gold anywhere. And so I wanted some of that original to show through. Otherwise, I mean, I could have cut a circle out myself. So I wanted to show that gold that she had painted. So I'm taking some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and lifting the layers of paint off to expose the gold paint. But again, this doesn't last either. And in the end, I'm sorry, Kristin, but you don't even see anything, I don't think, of the original. And I was at the point where I had to let it be, because I would have been there forever. So I'm coloring it in. I didn't have the same gold as Kristin had, which I love, by the way. So I'm just taking my Deco Color gold pen and coloring it in. It's not the same gold, but it is gold, and that is what Kristin had done. If I had thought about it, I could have used, I have some gold gesso here by the Crafters Workshop, and that probably would have worked really great. But I didn't think about it until after. I had a fuzzy or something on my marker. That's why you keep seeing me pick at the end. So when I do this, I don't like that either. So it doesn't stay. I was just playing with the idea of rubbing it off a bit, but I decided against that. So I'm taking some high flow golden paint in green gold and iridescent, hold on. Oh, it's not that one. In iridescent pearl. So again, that's golden high flow. And spritzing with water so it will run more. Then I'm just sprinkling some alcohol on it and blotting some away because I still want to see the images that I glued down. And then I'm still getting some of that gold peeking through. And this is when I finally start to like it, is when I go in with the gelatos. Wish I had thought of them sooner. Oh boy, I was so happy when this page was done. And I think I'm happy with it. I don't know. It's done. This page caused me a lot of frustration. I'm going in with a charcoal pencil. Now I've seen Kristin do this where she takes a knife or something and she scratches some lines into her paint. So that's what I'm doing with this pick tool. And I tried taking some of the dots that Kristin sent in the Happy Mail package, but they just don't do it for me. So what I end up doing is taking some of that glittery fabric paper, whatever it is, and I cut some circles from that. And I do like that. It was also cool to be able to incorporate some of the things that she sent me. So now I'm just taking a quote, and it's from Tim Holtz Stickers, and it says, "No beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart." I'm just going around the edge with some pink gelato. Just felt too stark white with everything else being so muted and nothing being clean and crisp. I felt like they had to be grunged up a little as well. So now I'm just going to adhere them down with some gel medium, and that will be it for this page. And I know it looks cloudy now, but when it dries, it's all good. And I forgot that I actually take some Distress Oxide ink sprays and cracked pistachio and just drip some on there. And I love the way that looks, and I have to remember to do that more often. Okay, this page was fairly quick and simple. Thank goodness. So I found a quote, and I decided to show more of how I go about the lettering. I just choose my quote, and this one I knew I wanted the word light to be somewhat of the focus. So I started with that word first. And I just had the idea to put it inside a circle. I don't know where it came from. I just wanted to do something different. So I just go in sketching different things and trying it out with pencil first. And now I'm going in with my black Posca paint pen instead of the Pigma pens, because when I use the eraser, a lot of the Pigma comes off. So I decided just to go straight in with my Posca paint pen. So the quote reads, "When everything seems dark, consider you may be the light." And I'm just coloring in some of the words and adding accents with Posca paint pens and gel pens. Thought I would try the word light in gold, but I didn't like it, so I just quickly wiped it off with a Q-tip, and then once that is dry, I go back over it again with the white Posca pen. I'm using some double-sided tape and I believe some white glue to adhere the circle down. And I played with trying to fill in some of those spaces on Kristin's doodled background, but I decided against it and just left it the way she had done it. And I added that collage image that I didn't use on the last one, and I added it to this page. Okay, now for this one, I decided to do some Zentangles. Now, for those who may not have heard of Zentangles, it is defined like this. Zentangle is an easy-to-learn method of creating beautiful images from repetitive patterns. It is a fascinating new art form that is fun and relaxing. It increases focus and creativity. Zentangle provides artistic satisfaction and an increased sense of personal well-being. Now, that is a little old because that was back in 2012, so it is not a new art form. It has been around for a while. So, and I enjoy it, and I find it's a great way to add doodles. And there are there's YouTube accounts that show Zentangle patterns and how to do them. You can look it up on Pinterest, Google. There's Instagram accounts. There's books you can buy. There are so many resources out there for you if Zentangling is something you want to get into. And that's the thing nowadays. I mean, it's so easy to find information and tutorials with a lot of times without even having to spend a penny. I mean, Zentangles, you can do them with ballpoint pens, with felt tip pens, like markers, whatever you have. It's up to you how big or thin you want the lines. I mean, really, you could do it and not have to buy anything extra. And a lot of people, they create their own patterns. Okay, just 1 minute. I am spraying this paper with a workable fixative because I was having a really hard time for the pen to work on the paper. I don't know what was on it, because that's all what Kristin did, and then it's my Zentangles. So I don't know, Kristin, what did you put on the paper? Because whatever it was, my pen did not want to work on it. So I sprayed it with a workable fixative, and it helps some. It's good enough that as long as the lines stay on, I'm okay with it. So anyway, as I was saying about Zentangles, a lot of people, they'll make up their own patterns by just simply looking around them. And you may find a pattern in a plant that appeals to you, or a tile, or a cloth, a blanket. Like, there's patterns all around you. And that's how a lot of the Zentangles get created. And there are people out there that do a way better job than what I do. I don't do it too often, but it is great to dabble in because I find it comes in handy sometimes too when doing my collage books. It's great for sometimes you want a little filler on the background, so it comes in handy there. Yeah, and my pen was leaking ink for some reason. There was a couple, and when I took the cap off, there was a lot of ink. And yes, I did take the paper outside when I sprayed it with the workable fixative. I went out on my front lawn. I found this one, I liked it when there was only a few, but then the more I added, the less I liked it because it lost that original design. So I like that one better if maybe I didn't join them and I just put them side by side maybe, or if I only did a few. And a lot of these patterns I got from a book I own called Joy of Zentangle. And it says featuring contributing artists Suzanne McNeil, Sandy Steen Bartholomew, and Marie Browning. Actually, I'm pretty sure Marie Browning has a YouTube channel. I feel like I follow her on YouTube. You can do a search for her because if it's who I'm thinking of, she has a lot of great Zentangle videos. So I'm trying to show you here is I have a gel pen like the one Kristin likes to use. It's clear with sparkle. I'm just going over some of the lines to add a little bit of sparkle. And a little bit of Kristin. And that's it. Okay, so for this page, I got to play with some new stamps. Well, one new stamp set. It's from Diane Reevely, and it is called Glorious Blooms. And it's from, I'm pretty sure it's the last stamp release she's had. This was the only set I purchased from that release. I held back. And I also have the Tim Holtz archival inks, the little minis. And I just stamped out all of the flowers that are in the stamp set. And then I am taking my Diane Reevely Dilutions ink sprays. I have them in these watercolor paintbrushes. So instead of filling it up with water, I fill it up with Diane's ink sprays. And it makes it so much easier for coloring. And I apologize if you can hear my dog walking around. It's very loud to me, so I don't know if it's gonna show up in the video or not. So to get a bit of a faded look in areas, I just outline it in the ink spray, and then I take a just water paintbrush and dilute it, and just mix it a little. They're so easy to blend. They're great. And how I wish I could color this fast. I love the blending on this flower. This is how well the inks blend. I just went in with a yellow, an orange, and a pink. And then I go back over them with the yellow, and it just blends them out all nicely. I found the hardest part about doing this was trying to decide what colors to use and not to go too overboard. Because if you do too many different colors, then it might look too busy. So I tried to keep with the same colors, but then do it in a different way. So now I'm covering this cutout of the leaf pattern with a circle that was included in my Happy Mail from Kristin. You will see it in a minute when I turn it over. I'm using some double-sided sticky tape to get it down. And I'll also use some Scotch white glue. I wasn't going to put anything down, but I couldn't get the leaf pattern covered with the flowers. So that's why I put a circle in the backdrop. And I don't fully adhere the flowers. I let them, like I'll put a strip of sticky tape in the middle, and I'll let the rest just hang off and let it be raised, and then it gives it a little bit of dimension. And don't be afraid to cut up your images if it's not working for you. Worst comes to worst and you regret cutting it, you just stamp and color another one. See, I'm so indecisive. And just to add a little bit, I did a doodly frame around the edge with Posca paint pen in white and black. As you probably know, this is one of my favorite things to do. Adding some more doodles, and then that is it for this page. This page, it was another one that caused me a little bit of grief. So I thought adding these little green things would be a great idea. I thought it would be something cool, and it wasn't. So yeah, they disappear because it was not pretty. And this pink stuff that I'm adding, it is, I don't know if I got it at the dollar store or if it was just some cheap stuff at Michael's. I can't remember which it is. But it is called Scribbles Pop 3D Paint. So I guess the brand name is Scribbles Pop. I don't know. And this color is Iridescent Watermelon. Oh, I guess it can go on fabric. Maybe that's why I bought it. I have no idea. I've had it for quite some time and I rarely used it. Okay, so I thought this would be a great idea. And I was cursing myself while I did it. I wanted to add thread in a loopy, like tracing the leaf pattern. And in order to get it to stay, I had to use, well, I tried using glossy accents, but I do not have luck with glossy accents. My bottle always gets clogged, and then I tried the thing where you leave a pin in it so it doesn't get clogged, and it's just rusty and disgusting, and so then it's yellow when it comes out. So I found this diamond glaze that I've had forever, like goodness, probably close to 20 years, and it still works. It's not clogged, so I decided to use that. And I am glad I did the whole thread thing. Like, it is nice. It was a little tedious, but it turned out. I like it. I can't even remember what else I do with this page right. Oh yeah, I like this page. So I'm using some Tim Holtz collage paper. And if you're on Instagram, I always bug Scrappy Girl. Hold on, there's numbers in her name. Scrappy Girl 7867 on Instagram. And I always bug her that, well, not bug her, but every time she posts something and she uses this collage paper, like for the longest time she would use it and I didn't own any, and I would be so jealous because I wanted it. And then I finally got it. And this might be my second time using it. And every time she posts a picture using it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to use mine. So I'm finally using it and I love it. Now we'll see how long it is before I use it again. But it is so pretty. And that number one is another of his tissue papers, like one of his really old ones. These come in, the one with the numbers, it comes in one of those packages that, you know, remind you of the way foil wrap and saran wrap is stored, like a package that looks like that. And I got it at Michael's. And Michael's still carries it. And it's pretty old. And these circles are from Dina Wakley's collage papers. And I'm just adding some washi tape. This washi tape I remember it came from, I used to be subscribed to, I think it's called Planner Society. Christy Tomlinson, I think that's her name. I know it's something like that. I'm just not unsure of the last name, how I'm pronouncing it, and how many syllables are in there. It's something along those lines. But I'm sure she still has the group too. But I just don't do the planner thing anymore because it was just too time consuming for me. I'm not a fast worker, and I found I spent more time making my planner pages pretty than actually doing anything that I put in the planner pages. And I wasn't having time to do anything else. So it just did not work for me. I mean, they're beautiful and I love it, like what people do to it, but it just does not work for me. And again, I'm using the Crafters Workshop Matte Gel Medium to adhere everything down. Yes, so that floral washi tape is from Christy. And then the other one that you saw me use, that is an old Tim Holtz washi tape. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. I could be wrong. Now I'm going in with some Art Alchemy metallic paint in it's in the color Mermaid Teal. That was actually going to be my guess too. I'm very shocked that I knew that. I didn't have confidence enough to say it, but I actually had it right. I am shocked. This is not my usual style, but I really like how this one turned out. Maybe I'm just excited to finally use the collage papers. So now I'm taking some Liquitex Titanium White paint and some of that Iridescent Pearl in the High Flow Golden. And I'm mixing those two together. My plan was to blend it in with some of the teal, but I decided against that because I really liked the look of how it was already. So I ended up just adding little bits of white instead of my original plan. And I'm going in again with the back of my paintbrush to add some dots. And then I'm going to get some enamel accents and add some pink dots. And that is it for this page. I may add a quote, I'm not sure. I can't remember. But that is it. That is all my pages for this collaboration. And this is the last video that you're gonna see for Journal in a Box. I don't know what to say. Oh, thank you, Kristin, for asking me to do this collaboration. It has been fun, and it was so nice getting to know you through the messages and the videos and just the interaction from doing this collaboration with you. It was great, and I know we're going to do something again in the future. I just know we will. So thank you all so much for sticking with us and watching this whole project come together. I do hope you enjoyed it. I have heard a lot of positive feedback, and you guys seem to really look forward to every Friday when you would see a new video. So I'm going to do a flip through of the pages, and then I want you to go to Kristin's channel and check out her video. Thanks so much. Bye.